This is just a little sampling of the books I have in store for you this month, and so let's go ahead and do this thing. And while I'm clearing these off my desk, and like I said, this is only like half of the pages this month, I just wanted to say a special thank you to my subscribers and all of my new subscribers. You guys are truly amazing. I'm sure a lot of you know this book from Maia, colored by Maia. She has done some beautiful pages in this book, and she does a lot of mixed media. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that myself. And the reason she said it works really good for this is the pages are so large and they're just nice, easy images. So I decided to do the same thing. I came in with Neocolor 2 as a base layer, and then I came over that with Sioux Color pencil. Now, in looking at it, I decided that there was just way too much background, and I'll insert a picture here if I remember, but I decided it needed more. It needed a story. So I came up with this sort of vision that this was a sleepy cat dreaming of fish. So I set about to do that by using some of the pages that I had created using my jelly plate. So these are jelly prints. And then I just freehanded and cut out little fish shapes. And then I went around each of those with a metallic marker. I also use metallic marker around the outside of the cat and on some of those stripes you might see. The real thin blue stripe is Sparkle Pop, Pentel Sparkle Pop. I enjoyed this so much. I can't even tell you. It was fun just to play, and just creating the story that I had envisioned. And honestly, I feel like it really came out the way I had hoped that it did. And I'm loving it. Oh, I also used a little bit of oil pastel for just to sort of add a little bit of darkness to the background. And then I went over that with pencil just to sort of smooth it out. So coloring for mindfulness, cats. I recently made a video on dopamine coloring, and I featured my very first page right here. And this is probably, of the 3 images that I created using the dopamine coloring method, this one is my favorite, and it was also my first. And what I did is I just started off with some markers. I colored outside the line as they encourage you to do. And I also encourage you to watch that video if you get a chance, and it explains it better than, me trying to duplicate that here. But coloring outside the lines and then kind of trying to come back and rein it all in. But I loved doing this. It was fun to experiment with colors, going outside the lines, embracing the mess, and sort of allowing my intuition to just sort of help me create all these jolts of color. And I loved every minute of it. I really did. I'm going to also show you how this started, when it was in its raw state before I decided to come back and sort of rein it in a little bit. So markers, pencil, little bit of white acrylic paint pen, little bit of silver jelly roll on these moons. And I did use a little bit of oil pastel for just sort of enhancing the green on this. But I really I'm in love with the way this page came out. And it really did a lot to bring the life back into coloring for me. Really enjoyed it. A Million Dragons, Adorable Dragons to Color by Lulu Mayo. And I've completed my first page in this book using some pearlescent watercolor for the moon, some water-based markers, and some of these budget-friendly pencils that I was gifted from a friend. The name is I Buy 'em, and I really enjoyed using those. But I really like the way this one came out. It was one of those where I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I just sat down and colored for the love of coloring. I colored this moon sort of a non-traditional color, I guess, using the metallic watercolors for just sort of a shiny, glowy effect. And I think it does contrast these dragons nicely. It's just sort of a nice little backdrop, I think. And I had fun with the color palette. Like I said, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I just colored what made me, happy. And I really have to say it was a joy to create. So here are these little guys. And I just had fun just adding the pops of bright, on the scales of the dragons, and just, the yellow bits on the outsides of the flowers and the wings, and just sort of trying to give everything sort of a dreamy, glowy effect, and hopefully that translates on the page, but very, very fun. Next up is Life is Sweet coloring book by Maday, and I had actually started this one last month but didn't finish it, so I finished it this month. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I used June Gold pencils on this. They were a gift a long time ago from my awesome friend Jamie, and I wanted just to keep the simple and sweet, like the sentiment, and I think I did achieve that. And yeah, I'm looking for more of this type of thing in August with my new challenge, which is Bobini Joy 30. I hope you'll join me, just trying to keep things simple and color for the simple joy of coloring, and not trying to overthink things, not trying to color for perfection. Now it's time to take a look at the 4 buddy colors that I've participated in this month, starting off with Johanna Basford's Rooms of Wonder. And this is that project book that I do every single month with my lovely friend Jana, Color and Create with Jana. Now, we had already colored this fruit page, so we decided to do this one. So I kind of wanted to keep things simple. I decided I didn't want to do a background on this one because I didn't do one here, and I just sort of wanted them to be a little more similar than dissimilar. So what I did here, I can't remember what I told Jana, but we both had a good laugh about it. I think I called this something like essence of wallpaper, or something along those lines. So it's just a little bit of washi tape that I hope looks a little bit like wallpaper, just to sort of anchor these shelves in place, was kind of my thinking on that. But I just used water-based markers, pencil, white acrylic paint pen, and the washi. I believe that was it. And oh, and a little bit of silver jelly roll for little bits of metallic on that you might be able to see. And sometimes these easier pages are just sort of fun. Now, as much as I enjoyed mine and I thought it turned out all right, when I saw Jana's, like, that's something that usually happens, I'm just sort of blown out of the water at how good hers looks. Look at the watermelon on that. Does that look just like a real watermelon? And the apples, I mean, everything has just such an awesome shine on it, and she does a great job. I'm always inspired by her. And thank you so much, Jana, for coloring with me this month, as well as all the months of the year. And by the way, it is her birthday month, so we want to say happy birthday, Jana. I hope July has been fantastic for you. Next up is a buddy color with my friend Shelley over on Instagram, and this is from Teddy Bear Therapy by Diane DeFore. And this book is a gift a long time ago from my very good friend Jenn Loves to Color over on Instagram. And I love this book. It takes watercolor so well. And so because of that, I used Neocolor 2 and Grabby watercolor for the whole background. And you can see I have blue, but I also added some of the pink here and there, little pops of color that I hoped would tie in that raft. And then I went over everything with a little bit of pencil to shade, and I believe this was Lango gel pen, to get the little skinny, very, very skinny watermelon rinds. And this one also qualified for my own hashtag, which is Bobini Otters and Owls, because of the little otters in addition to that cute little bear. And I'm going to push this over here. We're going to take a look at Shelley's awesome page. And I love the way hers turned out. I love the sort of peachy color that she used to color the little tummies of the otters as well as the raft. But she did a great job, as she always does. And I think it represents summer beautifully. Thank you, Shelley. Before we continue with the buddy colors, I wanted to show you this book before I forget. I almost forgot all about it, but this is Cozy Days. It's a Coco book, and this one I colored on video on my Dopamine coloring video, and I love it just because I enjoyed it so much. This Dopamine coloring thing it's just got me so excited. And so this was just basically, just doing the things with the Dopamine coloring, fast and furious and messy with alcohol markers. And then I came over it with a little bit of acrylic marker just for some dotting here and there, and a little bit of pencil, like for the clouds, just a very little bit of pencil. and a little bit of pencil for, some shading bits. But yeah, I tried to not overthink this and just leave it as a nice, loose example of dopamine coloring, something that you can create where you don't overthink and you just really immerse yourself in the experience. And I truly enjoyed this one. This next book is a buddy color with Sherry Denowitz over on Instagram. The book is Entangled. It's by Angela Porter. She and I both love Angela Porter pages and books. We decided on this page here. Now, this was my third example of dopamine coloring in that video. And I know what you're thinking. It doesn't look like, typical dopamine coloring with the vibrant, wild colors. But it is, because it's the mood that I wanted at the time. I was drawn to these colors, so I just went with it. It was colored with crayon and then a technique I like to do with mechanical pencil over the top. I really just scribbled the crayons, and it was very, very freeing, and I loved it. Then I came in and I used some black acrylic paint to sort of define the little segmented areas of the little mosaics. And then I came in with a gold acrylic paint to add some dotting. And another one that I enjoyed every single moment of this. And I love that I could use my crayons. I love me a good crayon. Move this over here and I'm going to share Sherry's page. I loved her page. It just represents summer in all the best ways with the pink and yellow gold and purple. Isn't that lovely? She did such a great job. And I love how different they are. That's what's wonderful about buddy color. So thank you so much, Sherry. I truly, truly enjoyed this. Next up is Pop Manga Paint and Ink Coloring Book. And this was a buddy color with Coloring Jenn 1975. And we chose this page. And this one is also a video on my channel showing how I did this background using Dilutions, inks, as well as Jane Davenport watercolor. So if you're interested, I hope you'll check that out. But I love color in this one too, again with the bright colors, and it was awesome to be able to use the inks and the watercolor, because oftentimes there's just things that are hard to use because the paper is such a limitation. But this page, the paper rather, is so lovely in this book, and that's the purpose of this book, is to be able to use different water mediums and that type of thing. And so I did, and I loved it. And I'm really pleased with the way it came out, and the colors made me smile. It's just a silly, silly little page, and I cannot wait to work in this book again. I'm going to share Jenn's page with you, and I love the way hers came out. I love the colors. I thought it was just a really neat contrast with the pink background and the navy blue and aqua colors. Just lovely. It just really, the colors really play off each other well. They work so well together, and she did a great job. And it was fun conversing with her throughout the month. We always enjoy chatting, and this was such a fun buddy color. So thank you so much, Jenn. What a great month it was for me. I truly just let loose and had an awesome time. And I hope you did too. I hope you enjoyed my completed pages video. And if you get a chance, maybe check out some of those other videos and let me know what you think. Enjoy your coloring, and I will see you on my next video. Bye now.